gonna come through the glass!
With Jurassic World Dominion now out in cinemas, I thought it would be a perfect time to review one of my favourite movies of all time, that being Jurassic Park. Now, for anyone who knows me, will be all too aware that I'm a Steven Spielberg fanatic. Granted, I don't love every Spielberg movie, but when Spielberg is operating at the peak of his powers as a director, his movies become the very definition of movie magic. So without further ado, let's get into why I consider Jurassic Park to be a masterpiece. One aspect of the movie that becomes immediately apparent is how the opening 15 minutes sets up every conflict of the story. From the threat of the dinosaurs...
Don't you see the danger, John, inherent in what you're doing here?
The unethical business element of setting up a dinosaur park.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they didn't stop to think if they should.
To the human characters involved.
Don't believe it. You're meant to come down here and defend me against these characters, and the only one I've got on my side is the blood-sucking lawyer.
This simple yet effective storytelling is effective in allowing the action-packed second half of the movie to provide the payoff to all these plot threads. And so, by Spielberg and screenwriter David Kipp laying the groundwork for the plot and characters, means that the movie doesn't turn into a mindless blockbuster, but one that is smart at the best of times, and allows the audience to be invested in the world building involved. Having said that, when the action arrives, the care put into the story and characters means that the action holds weight and significance for the audience. Steven Spielberg and the cast, along with the script, do a top job of placing humour at just the right moments throughout the movie. And what I love about the humour is that it doesn't detract from the suspense of the story. From Alan Grant scaring the life out of a child when we first see his character.
The point is, you are alive when they start to eat you.
To Ian Malcolm remarking about dinosaur feces.
Dino droppings?
Spielberg and co know when to add moments of levity to the story, as it essentially gives us a break from the science-heavy theories and concepts.
That is one big pile of shit.
The movie focuses a lot on character interactions and scenes of dialogue, especially during the first act. This creative choice allows the actors to infuse their characters with unique personality traits, which makes them all the more likeable. Ian Malcolm is probably the character that benefits the most when it comes to likability and charisma. It's like Spielberg told Jeff Goldblum to just be himself essentially, as Goldblum milks it every time his character appears on screen.
But life finds a way.
Sam Neill is pitch perfect as Alan Grant. Despite the serious demeanour of the character, particularly with his skepticism towards Jurassic Park, Neill never overstates these qualities, which makes his character engaging. Laura Dern plays Ellie Satler, as she, along with Sigourney Weaver, might be the few examples of strong female characters in blockbuster films of this era in cinema. Unlike movies nowadays, where many female characters are so powerful to the point of being utterly boring, Laura Dern, along with the script, balanced the strong, intelligent aspects of her character with her emotional qualities. In particular, when she is separated from Grant, we get to see her loving persona, and that all she wants is to be reunited with the people she cares about at the expense of her scientific dreams and ambitions. The rest of the cast are also stellar, including Sam Jackson in one of his early movie roles. But my favourite character has to be Dr. Hammond, played by the legend himself, Richard Attenborough. Attenborough plays the character in a playful manner that is a nice departure from the mustache-twirling characters that often inhabit movies of this kind. Like Laura Dern, he's able to tap into the emotional elements of his character with such ease, which adds another layer of depth to Hammond's character. I also have to mention Joseph Mazzello and Ariana Richards, who play Tim and Lex. The movie thankfully doesn't turn these characters into annoying little brats that was often commonplace in the 80s and 90s. Both Mazzello and Richards are charming and funny, as they surprisingly play an active role in the plot, especially during the third act. Jurassic Park is one of those rare movies that captures the feelings of awe and wonder, as Spielberg delivers the goods throughout the movie. This includes the first time we're introduced to Jurassic Park. Spielberg and cinematographer Dean Cundey opt for plenty of wide shots and sweeping camera movements, all of which convey the size and scale of the island. Of course, John Williams' score only elevates the sense of wonder for the audience. Speaking of which, I think few would argue against the score being one of the greatest of all time, and that's not overselling it either. From the moment we see the human characters arrive at Jurassic Park, John Williams wastes no time in giving us the title theme, as the theme, along with the rest of the score, is full of big orchestral sounds and textures that is the very definition of iconic film music. The scene in which the characters see dinosaurs for the first time is perfectly placed in the movie. Spielberg throws us into the deep end of this grand moment as we see Grant and Ellie taking off their sunglasses to witness the dinosaurs. And the movie on the whole doesn't waste much time when it comes to letting the audience be immersed in the world of Jurassic Park. The lean script, tight editing, and Spielberg's mastery behind the camera ensures that the movie delivers on its blockbuster premise. Can we also talk about the CGI of the first dinosaur that we see? Well, second if you include the opening scene. As many of you will know, CG was in its infancy during the early 90s. And so, rather than relying on this new technology, Spielberg and its special effects team use CG as and when it's appropriate to the story. When Grant, Ellie, and Hammond see the dinosaur behind the trees, Spielberg opts for a wide shot. By deploying a wide shot, it obscures any imperfections in the CG of the time. It means the audience buys into the illusion of a dinosaur standing next to a set of humans, which is important in selling the idea of humans and dinosaurs sharing the same space as one another. And of course, who could forget the iconic close-up of Grant's face staring into the distance as he looks at a set of dinosaurs at a nearby lake.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
If the first half of the movie sets up the story and characters, then the second half can only be described as going on your favourite ride at a theme park. From the humans' first encounter with the T-Rex to the finale at Dr. Hammond's research facility, the movie delivers all the excitement that are guaranteed from a Spielberg blockbuster.
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business.
When it comes to tension and scares, Spielberg is up there with the best, and Jurassic Park is no exception. Spielberg often achieves this with wide shots showing the bushes and trees behind the perimeter fences at the park, as these shots only amplify the threat of the dinosaurs. Spielberg also opts for long drawn silences, especially during the first T-Rex encounter, as shadows, lighting, and the reaction of the human characters make this scene all the more frightening. Jurassic Park is a movie that changed the movie industry on a groundbreaking scale. Not only did the movie change the industry from a technological standpoint, but also in delivering a masterclass of how to provide the thrills and scares that come from the monster blockbuster. But what truly makes the movie stand the test of time is how Spielberg and the rest of the team put care and detail into developing the story and characters, so that by the time the action rolls, you're fully invested in the movie. So I'll now hand it over to you, as I want to find out your thoughts on Jurassic Park, and specifically, what's your favourite scene from the movie, as I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.